All right. Thank you very much for keeping it KBC. Now, this morning on The Viewpoint, we still continue with this morning conversation on COVID-19. I'm joined by His Excellency Honorable Wycliffe Oparanya, who is the governor for Kakamega County and the Council of Governors chairman. Honorable Oparanya, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
And,
thank you very much, Ram.
This morning we'll be talking about county preparedness to counter the coronavirus. Be part of this conversation. As always, the hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. Tag me at Ram Aguko. At KBC Channel 1 is the official station handle. At Jane Wamboi is my colleague's handle. Remember, the SMS line is also up and running. 20154 is the number. Start with the word Channel 1. Tell us your name and where you're watching us from. Mheshimiwa, how prepared are we as a nation?
As a nation, first of all, let me commend the president, what he did to call an urgent meeting when this happened, and also to outline where the country is going. But more important was the establishment of the National Steering Committee, which is chaired by the CS Health Services. And in that committee, as a Council of Governors, we nominated one of us, Dr. Kuti, who is our chair of health at the Council of Governors, to be part of that National Steering Committee so that we are able to get information flowing to the counties. At the same time, committees were formed from the National Steering Committee. Committees were formed at the county level.
Yes.
These committees comprises of officials from the national government and officials from the county government, and they are co-chaired by the governor and the county commissioner. So this is the first contact. And at that level, we have come up with a rapid response team of medics who are able to sit together and know how to react.
Do you expect some results based on these inputs that you've already put in place?
Yeah, definitely. As you know, this is a virus, and the virus has no cure. So prevention is sort of prevention. So the first thing that the National Steering Committee was to give clear guidelines of what should be followed at the county level. And it is those clear guidelines that counties have been trying to follow, because the national government is in charge of standards. And remember, this is a national disaster, not only national, global. And the counties themselves cannot have capacity to undertake such an undertaking. But because of they are part of the governance, a subsidiary governance structure, and the fact that healthcare is devolved, it is important that they get involved in all preparation. So the first thing was to make sure that that committee at the county level is there. And I think every county has that committee. We form rapid response committee teams comprising of medics in every county. That has been done throughout the counties.
I'm looking at what you said, and I'd like to quote what you said. You said this at the beginning of, it was during this week, and I quote, "All bodies at the mortuaries should be collected by family members as soon as possible. We have waived all mortuary expenses, so the bodies should be collected without a problem." Yeah. You closed all mortuaries for, in your county, for example, for 30 days.
Yes.
And people are wondering, how does this move connect with the COVID-19?
Now, you see, lawyers, we have a culture, and maybe you have a culture also.
Yes. Yeah.
Our culture is that when we lose one of our own, we have to mourn. And that mourning takes a time. Even after we bury, we have to. If it's a lady, we take other 3 days more. If it's a man, it takes another 4 days more. Now, if we lose one of us, we have to take to a mortuary so that we start preparing. We gather. The aunts have to come. The uncles have to come. The children who are abroad have to come. So to avoid this gathering, because these are dangerous, We don't want people to gather that they are preparing for funerals. We want as soon as someone dies, there is arrangement at short notice. And we have said, as a county government, we are ready to help in terms of transportation, in terms of minor expenses, to help so that people are buried. So we are taking that measure to ensure that people do not gather in the name that they are organizing for burial.
But now, what about the bodies of their loved ones that are in the mortuaries?
That's why we are saying they should take them as quick as possible, so that there are no gathering at home.
So they do the burial immediately?
Yeah, they do the burial immediately. And we are saying we are not going to accept other bodies, because if you die now, let them arrange so tomorrow you are buried, so that we don't have those gatherings. And we knew some of these people were not ready, and that's why we have waived all mortuary expenses. We have waived, and we say the county government is ready to pay. Whichever place you come from, we are not discriminating. Whether you are a Maasai and you happen to be in Kakamega mortuary, your people are free to come and take the body away.
Cleared.
For burial. But if you had hospital expenses, hospital bills, those ones you have to pay. Strictly for hospital, those particular ones you have to pay.
So for the
but
hospital,
for mortuary,
no
payment.
Cleared.
Cleared completely.
And,
irrespective. I don't want any discrimination that this body is from Masai Mara, this body is from Trans Nzoia, this body is from Bungoma or Vihiga. Everybody that is in that mortuary is waived.
And as we speak right now, have the payments been made?
We had 65 bodies. And these bodies, in fact, there was a rush to come and pick these bodies. And you know, they were complaining, oh, we are not ready. But you see, this is a disease outbreak. And you know, Kenyans are taking this as a joke. You can see the shutdown that is happening in developed countries, which have more skills, more technology, more advanced technology to fight this disease. What about us here?
And that's the question, whether Kenyans are taking this seriously. But Governor, you had closed markets also in measures aimed at minimizing crowds in the wake of this virus.
Yes.
Explain further on that. In terms of market, how do people get there?
We have closed open markets. Open markets. You know, there are those markets where people in your community, a hero market, where just people come on a particular day of the week and come together and sell their wares, their supplies there. They said those ones we have closed. But they are well-built markets where we have stalls. We know the people, the owners of those stalls.
Okay.
We know them, and they know their customers. They know them. But you see, these open markets attract people from all over. Like in Butere, we have one where I come from. We have one on Amande. You go there, you'll find people from Siaya, people from Kampala. They have come there. People from all over. We are saying that's a danger. But you see, these other markets where we are built, they are there on daily basis.
Okay, so it is on specific
markets.
Open markets have been closed.
But those that are built, where we have stalls, those are open.
This is just to make sure that we fight coronavirus.
Yes.
You said this, and I quote, "The law stipulates that each county sets aside at least 2% of its budget for emergencies like this."
Yes.
That's what you said.
Yes.
You said that those that do not have it are supposed to quickly come up with a supplementary budget.
Yes.
But now the question is, do counties have the funding to deal with the COVID-19?
Yeah. Well, the truth of the matter that counties have been overwhelmed because they were not expecting this, and this is of a global nature, so it will require a lot of financial resources. But for fixing, quick fixing, like for example, having those isolation rooms ready, having extra beds, those are things that we can manage within our budget. Buying these sanitation materials at our facilities, washing soap if we cannot get the other ones. Those are things that I'm talking about. But now, when it comes to sensitization of the people, going to the radios like I'm here, you know, that goes beyond the budget of the counties. And that's where we want national government to come in. And even the gear that the nurses, the medics are supposed to wear. Now, we can't get it at the moment. You can't get it, they're all over. You can't get them. And we have been directed to go to KEMSA. We went to KEMSA for the last 3 days. We have not got any supply. And that's why we are saying, in this case, then the national government should come in and make sure that these are provided for. Otherwise, the nurses themselves are at risk. They can't serve these people unless they have this gear on.
But now, what are we going to do? Because now these gears are not there. I'm looking at 14 counties that have been categorized as high risk. And I'm seeing that they have received some kits that were given. 10,000 kits. We have Nairobi, Kiambu, Machakos, Kakamega, Kisumu, Busia, Migori, and many other counties that have been considered as high risk. And
I can tell you that those gears they are saying the 10,000, they have not supplied.
They have not supplied.
Kakamega was supposed to get 10,000. We got only 10. So
clarify that. You talk about 10, specifically 1, 2, 3, 10.
10. That, as I talk now. And then we were told that we collect the other from KEMSA. My people have been camping there. We have not got anything. As I said, it's important that we say openly, because we must prepare. This disease is a danger to our people. As I say, I have 10. I have 14 sub-county hospitals, what we call level 4. I have 1 level 5. So level 5, at least the 10 have taken care of the 10. For the, but sub-counties, I don't have anything to do. And even I've made a provision. And you see, this is not a gear you just go to the shops and buy it. It must have particular specification. And that's why we have to go to KEMSA. KEMSA doesn't have, unless they have had it last night.
Then our health workers are exposed.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they will have a problem. And that's why I have to issue a press conference so that maybe someone who is sleeping on a job somewhere knows that this is the issue.
You're issuing a press conference today?
It's today at 12.
To address this matter?
To address that matter.
But then
and your people have been invited to attend.
So it is a hoax that county governments have received 10,000 kits?
I'm telling you, I've received 10.
What do you think? What are you going to do about
it? And I don't see any of those counties who have received 10,000. You can call them and find out. That's a hoax, I can tell you. And you see, when I called the permanent secretary in charge of health yesterday, and she was surprised. I don't know if she was pretending, because that's a critical issue that you should have known,
When you look at what you said, you said all the 47 county governments have set up multi-agency emergency response committees at 2 levels of healthcare, level 4 and 5, to deal with the threat of COVID-19. That's what you said?
Yes.
I've quoted you there.
Yes.
These emergency response committees that have been put into place in the level 4 and 5, do they have the proper materials that they need to be able to deal with this? In terms of the manpower, is it there? In terms of the funding, is it there?
Now, I can tell you that those committees are there. We call them rapid response teams, consisting of medics. They are there. But what they don't have is the commodities that they are required to use. They are there for quick response. And the other thing that Kenyans should know, so that they take care of themselves, is that there is only one testing place, and that's Nairobi, Kemri. So your blood has to be taken in Kakamega and be brought to Kemri here for testing. So by that time it has been brought here, you have to be isolated. And that's why we have created those isolation rooms at level 5 and level 4 hospitals.
Level 4. Are they working out well? I'm looking at
the isolation rooms are there. Of course, you can only know they are working maybe if there is a response, but we have ensured as governors that those isolation rooms, they are there and they are equipped necessary. The beds are there, of course. But I've told you, they are our staff. One thing that the national government has done, They have actually trained our staff. As I talk now, in Kakamega, 232 people have already been trained, and they are training others. But the gear to protect these people, what we call non-pharmaceutical commodities, are not available as I talk now.
Let's talk about the people from the ground, the Kenyans.
Yeah.
You know, there is a lot of misinformation that is going around there.
Yeah.
People do not know what's going on, and some are depending on social media to get information, which could be fake at some point. What do you think should be the measures that we should be putting into place to address this problem?
The best way to deal with this is that the national government should be able to update the nation on day-to-day basis at a particular time, whether they choose morning and afternoon, or whether they choose afternoon, a particular time. And
consistently.
Someone must be, should be designated to pass this information. The same information must go to the county, and the county should be able to replicate the same information, of course, adding, customizing it, or domesticating it at the local level. And that information should be able to go to our wards, to go to our community areas. So there must be that information, because the majority of Kenyans live in the rural area. So if you inform people, there are people who don't have radios in the local level. The majority have. There are people who don't watch TV at that level. So you must find a way of how this information will collect down to the common man.
Let's talk about transportation.
Yes.
When you look at the transport sector, some matatu operators are, distributing or giving out hand sanitizers, but others are not. The government gave out measures that people should remain at home and not move from one place to another, that if possible, they work online. But others are not following these measures. If you go to the CBD, people are still moving around.
Yeah, in a rural area, it will be very difficult. In developed countries, it's very easy. Well, if you look at the US, there is a complete shutdown. But in a rural setup, it's very difficult. Those matatus, if you remove them on the road completely, it will be very difficult for people to do their own business. Maybe it can also lead to other deaths of other. Remember, other diseases are still there.
Yeah.
People have still to go to hospital. But what we have said, that those sanitizers should be available in every matatu. But the problem is now, as I talk now, there is also a shortage. Because you go to Kakamega, you look for them, you can't get them. So the government must have also taken precaution early now to know the manufacturers, so that the manufacturers also do not exploit wananchi. They say, okay, the supplies now, this is how you have to focus, and please keep the price. Because the government is a government, and it has to take care of the interests of its people.
As we bring this discussion to a close, Your Excellency, do you think that as a country, can we be able to win in this fight against the COVID-19?
This disease has no cure.
Yeah.
What is important is prevention. And if you get it, we must fight to boost your immunity. And that's why in China, they are using ARVs, the one that they use for ukimwi, HIV. Yeah, they are using that. So people are now taking it. Not that they have HIV, but to boost their immunity. So that is what is critical. Because it has no particular disease. You cannot be immunized because of it. So as I tell you now, if you get something that you feel can boost your immunity, and that's why it is killing more older people, because the immunity system is weak. Yes, it's weak. So the older you are, if you find that the people have died, 8,000 of them, you'll find half of them are over 75 years and above, because the immunity system is weak. So as you are isolated and you are suspected, they must find a way of now building up your immunity. Otherwise, there is no medicine that will cure you direct.
Mheshimiwa,
yes.
What is your message to the Kenyans? That is your camera.
Yeah, the message for the Kenyans is that this is a reality that has affected us as a country. A reality is for the global, the entire global people. it is important that Kenyans follow what the government, whether at the national level or at the county level, has prescribed for prevention. We are preventing ourselves against this disease. There is no cure.
Thank you very much. That is His Excellency Honorable Wycliffe Oparanya, the Governor of Kakamega County and the Council of Governors Chairman. Thank you very much for finding time to join us this morning.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure too.
Hope we shall be able to win this.
I hope
battle.
so. Really.
Keep texting, keep tweeting. The hashtag, as always, is Good Morning Kenya. That brings us to the end of this morning conversation. That's all the time we had. May God bless you. God bless the work of your hands. My name is Ram Aguko.